Hello, everyone. Good morning. We're here for another exciting episode of A Cup of CX, brewing insights with CX global leaders, powered by ClueTrack. Hello, my name is Manuel, and I'm the Chief Growth Officer at ClueTrack. I warmly welcome you today to our podcast with another exciting CX leader. Today, we have Dinesh from Sobha Realty, who is the Chief Customer Experience Officer. Before we go into the details, Dinesh is also a transformational leader. He's a coach and also a CX leader. He has over 25 years of experience. He's worked with companies like Wipro, Hero, Idea, Vodafone, Tata Digital, and currently with Shobha Reality. Dinesh, a very warm welcome to you, and thanks for joining this podcast.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Manuel. It's really a pleasure to meet you, and be on your podcast.
So much for joining. Now, before we start the next 30 minutes of podcast, Dinesh, while I know I've given a very high level overview, the companies that you work, it would be really great if you can introduce yourself to our listeners today.
Sure, definitely. I would love to do that. Uh, I think you covered broadly the organizations that I've worked with. It's always exciting to share what you've done in CX. And when you say 25 years, I won't say it is too much, but I would say I have seen the transformation of the word CX from service delivery to customer service to now customer experience. Most people are happy calling it customer experience today, while the real meaning of customer experience is a little different. Just to give a brief introduction about me, uh, I have been only doing simple things, taking care of our customers. What our customers want from an organization they are doing business with, maybe using product or services of a particular organization. That's all I've been doing. That's a very broad one, a macro view. In a micro view, I have spent a lot of time on contact center side. I have led contact centers to the size of 15,000 people across 20 geographies. I have managed customers from US, UK, Australia. I have managed banks. I have managed tech support. I have managed telecom providers, both in house, which is domestic, and international to India. Uh, a lot of work I've done in banking space along with telecom. And the most exciting one, I must say, was Tata's, where I helped uh, doing a lot of transformation across the group in the space of real estate, in the space of hospitality, you may want to say that, in the space of Tata Motors, in the space of uh, our stores, Chroma stores, and then finally coming up with a product like Tata Neo, which was the super app. That was an exciting journey in itself. Post that, I got an opportunity with HDFC Bank. Sheer size of the bank, mesmerizes you, and you're like, oh, how do we transform, make such a big mega change? I think that was the huge or humongous opportunity and a challenge both. Uh, it's actually very different to work at that scale, or to even think how would you transform that scale. Post that, Shobha Reality in Dubai is what happened. Being in Dubai, it's very different than any other international assignment. And we'll go more deep. We'll peel the onion as we go along. Uh, but yeah, that's a broad journey I have.
Thank you so much, Dinesh. I mean, it's a very intense and immensely grateful journey the last 25 odd years. And I think more than CX, I think your experience is going to benefit a lot of CX leaders, budding leaders who are there on the podcast today. Now you rightly said what you were doing is taking care of your customers. I think that's the core and that's the fundamental of the CX that we see today. And I think you're in such a great place, and with your experience you've seen the evolution of CX, right from operations to strategy and you know contact center. I think this is going to be an interesting conversation for sure, and I'm sure that all the listeners today are going to enjoy this conversation. Now, you started in operations and you moved to strategy, then you build contact centers and eventually CX. Now tell us about why you became interested in CX in the first place.
Okay, wonderful. So, being a technologist at core, I came out of my engineering back in 98, 99, joined a company as an intern, a technology intern, and you'll be surprised to hear what I was doing in my first 6 months or first year of job. I had set up a telephone exchange in one nook corner of India. So I had set up the telephone exchange for Shimla,
Wow.
which is in Himachal Pradesh, up north in India.
Yeah.
And that was my first job, if you ask me. I was so technical, deep into it. Uh, and next 3 to 6 months, I was so enticed with technology. I still remember Alcatel 625 was the exchange that we had installed and developed. And then we were moving into GPRS and rest of the things. But suddenly after that, I realized this is just one side of technology. And uh, immediately after that 3 month internship period, surprisingly, I got three offers internally when I was getting confirmed. Would you want to move into the newer, new age components that this company was dealing with? They were coming up with computer networks and neural networks. And on the other side, they had continuation of exchanges, and I think back then we were just deploying GPRS exchanges. So, one side completely I would not do too much, but I was into engineering. And then I said, okay, this is what I love to do. But I got an opportunity to work for the greatest company of that time for sure, which is Dell. I was not directly employed with Dell. I joined a company called Spectramind, which later got acquired by Wipro and became Wipro Spectramind. And I was managing US tech support, and I had about 20 engineers as part of my team when I started. That journey of first 3 years transformed me from technology to experience. And all thanks to Dell. Back in 2000, Dell, I heard the word customer experience first time with Dell. Back in 2000, they initiated a challenge called CE80. They
Okay.
wanted 8% customer experience back then. That
Wow.
was the first introduction to customer experience for me. And for them, customer experience really meant customer experience. They would change anything. And it was back then I learned what does it mean and what does it take for delivering customer experience. It's the simplicity and guiding your own people with the same simplicity. So, we'll definitely go further in this. Like you asked, so it was my introduction to Dell, which got me and made me a CX person.
Wonderful. That's amazing. That's really intriguing. The last 24 years, I think you would be one of the pioneers, stalwarts in the CX space, having getting to know about CX in the very early stage and having then worked upon it in the last 25 years. A subsequent question to that, Dinesh. Now you've been there, in the CX space for the last 24 years. What is your
Yes.
biggest challenge that you're faced as a CX professional, and how do you go? How did you go about tackling that challenge?
Wow. Uh, 25 years, it's a huge time, huge long period, or a pretty long period. challenge has remained the same. It is really surprising. I worked with multiple industries, but challenge has always remained the same. Every time you attempt for a new project, your challenge is how do you keep it simple? And that's my first mantra when I start. I always look at how do I keep it simple? How do you keep it simple for your employees? How do you keep it simple for your customers? And you ever review any process, it would be so complex from outside if you simplify it from inside.
Yeah.
A customer, if you tell a customer, open a bank account, or we have moved to an age where bank account is today opened online, right? Tell the customer they need to do something in the customer journey. You want the customer to come to your doorstep and do that. You know, there is no one single example of excellence there, but somebody has done first portion excellently. Somebody has taken care of journey in an excellent way. But everyone is evolving. So every time you will get a similar challenge. While you have evolved in the onboarding journey, you will realize as a business, you still have challenges in managing the customer life cycle. And I think that's one challenge. How do I ensure my customers are happy? One single statement. How do I ensure all my customers are happy? And I am able to take care of all their needs.
Sure. I
That
think this is
is
very, very interesting point, Dinesh. Thank you so much. Uh, I think it's a revelation for me and for a lot of people who are there on the podcast today. Uh, I think it goes back to the fundamentals. It goes back to the foundations of customer experiences. How do I keep my customers happy? While it might sound very simple, very seamless, but it is a known fact that you can't keep everyone happy. There will be unhappy customers. But if your
correct.
goals, your objectives is to ensure that to make all your customers happy, I think then we're talking volumes of things, right? Uh,
Correct.
Moving on to the next question, I think this is something that is brewing in the current ecosystem, that's brewing in the current scenario, the seamless balance between CX and Gen AI. Obviously, Gen AI has been there for many, many years, and you know we've been working with OpenAI since the last 6 years, right? We've seen the evolution of OpenAI and ChatGPT, right? But you've been in the space for the last 25 years in the CX space. Now, where do you see a seamless balance? What are your experience? What are your future perspectives about balancing Gen AI and CX, Dinesh?
Uh, it's really, really important and interesting topic. I really love exploring, talking about AI a lot, and I am using AI from at least last 10 years. AI, not generative AI. Generative AI is much more recent. Uh, but we started our journey back in 2013 when we started with some of the tools on customer on the CRM side, where we started using AI and ML. Today, it is at a very important point where there is the right amount of hype, which is already created, generated, and is there around AI and generative AI. Now, whether we are using it, whether everyone will start using it from tomorrow, whether, most important question, is it the right tool? Is it appropriate? Will it take away human jobs? So many questions that come. As a business, I may say, will it solve all my problems? As a tech company, someone may say, can I do coding using generative AI? All of that is possible. Problem is today they are in different points, they are spread across. Can I merge them and bring them together? So we started doing a POC where I asked my teams, before you're writing to a customer, can you try and have uh, a POC using ChatGPT or Copilot? Before you send an email to the customer, just try and redraft using that. Within, it was just a POC. I was just trying with one person how that comes, and then someone sitting next and saying, is it appropriate? Then we said, no, we should humanize
Yeah.
the feedback of generative AI today. We used multiple tools. But what is important, we need to imbibe them in our regular business. How will that happen? Unless and until Microsoft, Google, I'm sorry, I'm taking names,
Yeah.
but they're the pioneers. So, unless
Yeah.
and until top technology layer of the world does
Yes.
not make AI or generative AI as part of your business, as part of their all and every solution, or everything that they do, generative AI will not come into the full potential. And I'll give you an example. So I asked some of my new guys, uh, some management trainees who joined my office, can you make a presentation on a topic I gave him? Next day, he came back with a beautiful, very nicely presented presentation. And the question was, does it look nice? Yes, it looks nice. Does it have all the components? Yes. But it is too gloomy. This doesn't look like the real world presentation. I said, you'll have to humanize this. And that's what is required with AI or with
Mm.
Gen AI. It needs to get humanized. It is also a risk. It Gen AI today poses a lot of risk of frauds.
Mm.
It is also a boon to control frauds. When you
Yeah.
are dealing with frauds in banking, uh, when it was purely done by humans, you required 1,000 people to deal with fraud detection, fraud prevention. Today, one machine code can help you with that, because the same machine code will help you with uh, 10 different type of fraud detection and fraud prevention mechanisms. So all of that is possible with AI, provided it is integrated with business.
Sure.
And it should take at least another 5, if not 10,
Yeah.
to make AI part of our day-to-day lives.
Absolutely.
My 13-year son, he uses AI. Whenever I ask him something, he gives me a draft using AI. Nothing else. Thanks to Copilot,
Yeah.
thanks to all of this available on Google. So he has Chat GPT as an installed application, and so are the new age businesses doing.
Yeah.
But can I take it to a scale that Amazon is driving today, or a Walmart? Forget Amazon because they are also a tech company. Walmart is driving today. The volumes Costco is driving today. Uh, Volumes that Home Depot is driving today. Can they absorb or adapt generative AI in their day to day business? Once that starts happening, we will see the true potential of Gen AI.
Absolutely. I think, thank you so much, Dinesh. And I was also presenting in the last event, which was done in Dubai by UBS Forums, which spoke
Yeah.
about the seamless balance between AI and, CX, human empathy, right? So we can definitely use Gen AI. We can use all of these tools, technologies that's available to, maybe nudge the data, get the exact insights. But ultimately, people have emotions, people have that one-to-one relationship. So a fine balance between using Gen AI and the empathy and the, in the CX is going to be very, very critical and crucial. And as you rightly said, I think Gen AI is evolving, and I think next 5 years is going to be really, really exciting. And I'm sure a lot of business are already taking a cue in terms of how they can include, how they can implement Gen AI into the day-to-day process.
Correct. Uh, it's a long journey, and Manuel, it's a long journey, but this is a very exciting journey. I remember 2008, we did a lot of automation. That was a time of automation.
Right.
While a lot of people even relate automation to AI and say, robotics, AI, ML is the same.
Yeah.
Of course, they are interlinked, and it's an evolution of one step which has led to the next and to the next. And today it is machine learning. Earlier, automation was done only for one portion. You automate certain things, and then you say, how does this automation auto learn from what it is doing? That
Sure.
became machine learning. And there were codes written on self learning, guided learning, monitored learning, all of that. Then it became AI. And today it is very different. When I say it is dangerous, today by writing a text, I can create a picture. By
Yeah.
writing a piece of text, I can create a video. And
Absolutely.
that's the risk which AI is posing.
Yeah.
It's also a boon somewhere. It's also a blessing. Uh, you don't need people to do that mundane task. Will it take away all the jobs? It will change the way jobs are being done today. It
Absolutely.
will change the way human potential is being absorbed today.
Yeah.
It will completely change what people do today versus what they will do tomorrow.
Absolutely.
uh, Gen AI will still require control. People will still be required to uh, give more tasks to
Absolutely.
Gen AI. So, just an example. What is the two biggest cost of human life? If you look at day to day, your biggest cost is real estate. If you have kids, your second biggest cost is education, and
Yeah.
your third biggest cost is your household.
Yes.
Uh, these are the three big costs. There, of course, depending on some people, there could be many. How do we transform and bring AI into these? And these are the areas where we still don't serve the customers
Mhm.
completely. When I go to a hospital, I'm not the customer. It's me and people who are with me, which is my family, is the customer.
Yeah.
Any CX program is targeted towards the customer, which means me as the patient, possibly. But patient is never the customer in that case. It is always and always the family.
Yeah.
Next one, we have education. You go to education system, again, a lot is happening. We can't say automation is not coming. Again, there, who is the customer? If we treat the kid as the customer, because they go through the entire experience of every day at school, or the parents are the customer. Yeah, of course, kid is the customer who is at school or college. Parents are the customer from another angle. Industry is a large customer who would consume, is a big stakeholder who would consume these people as they are ready.
Certainly.
Yeah, and there are upselling possibilities. If I loved experience at if I'm just looking at CX, if I loved experience being at your school, uh, I would definitely have an upselling opportunity. I have a sibling or I have friends and relatives who would just
Yeah.
take feedback from me. So why CX is important at all of these, why transformation is required at those basic day to
Yeah.
day
Yeah.
industry, which are still, when we look at transformation, while healthcare is also looking at it, many industries are doing, but it is still uh, tagged to digital businesses.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Dinesh. There are many CX leaders, upcoming CX leaders who are listening to this podcast today, and most of them are from different industries and different verticals. And giving a cue to them, you've been a CX leader in banking, in telco, in real estate. You know, how does customer experience differ in these different industries? While your idea is to keep the happiness in the forefront, but each of these verticals act differently, behave differently, The end customers are very different. Some buy it every day, some buy it once in a lifetime. How does customer experience works across these industries?
Super. Uh, Customer experience differs by industry, and even within the industry by where an organization is.
Mm,
Within the industry, there may be top three organizations of a particular region. You would see each one of them have their own need of experience and transformation.
right.
Each one of them may be delivering experience in their own way. I'm not saying who would be good, who would be bad, not ranking them by experience, uh, by skill and size as well. They would have their own journey of
Yeah.
delivering customer experience. Now, how is it different? I'm coming to a bank. My need is open an account. I digitize it. Wonderful. Uh, my need is my daily track of what is coming into my account and going out of my account. I need to have control of that. Absolutely. Same way, going to real estate. When I'm making a purchase, that's my onboarding. That can be digitized. That can be, today it is becoming immersive. We are,
Yeah.
we no more need to take a customer to the site and say, sir, this is how the building is and this is what the surrounding is. This is where the sun will be. This is where the moon will be. I don't need to say this is how the night and day would look like internally. All of that is possible by an immersive experience that can be built. uh, you are sitting in Russia, I can help you look at this unit property, how it will be by taking you into that immersive experience. All that is possible because of the same technology. The underlying technology remains similar. And that variety, after this, customer wants, I want you to update me on a regular period, which is the life cycle update, just like a bank, just like a grocery that is getting delivered to my place. I want to know when the order has been placed, when the order has been shipped, when the order will be received by me. Having a life cycle, having a timeline, that is important for every customer, whether you are and having that communicated to the customer, whether you are customer of a grocery store or a grocery app or
Mhm.
a super app, taking fashion or grocery or going into hospitality or going into bank or even coming to real estate. All you want is one, I should know the timeline, I should be
Yeah.
updated of the time.
Sure.
And broadly, that's what a customer wants. Keep me updated, keep me informed. There are certain people who say, don't bother me with these messages.
Hmm.
There are a percentage of
Yeah.
them, and we have to very subtly put the message across to them. This is just to keep you updated, sir,
Yeah.
or updated, ma'am, whatever way.
Sure. So I think the personalization plays a very important role, right? I mean, in this all these industries, the way the customers behave, the way the customers expect. I think I would say more than personalization in today's world, it is hyper personalization.
It is hyper personalization. Yes,
And
absolutely.
we have questions coming in, but uh, people who are there in the podcast, please share your questions. We will park some time to answer those questions. But
Absolutely.
moving next, Dinesh, this is a very important question that I get to speak to a lot of CX leaders, right? Um, we all understand CX is so important, and companies boast about themselves saying that we are customer centric. We keep our customers at the core of everything that we build, everything that we service. But the moment when it comes to to enhance your customer experience, where you need to invest in technology, where you need to train your team, suddenly what we see in most organizations, unfortunately, customer experience becomes nice to have more than need to have. So what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts around how do we keep CX not as a separate department but intertwined with all the departments so that it becomes the core for the business and the organization to succeed?
That's a phenomenal question, Manuel. And I'm sure this will bring a lot of insight and this will throw a lot of light on what CX as a department should be doing and is doing in an organization. First and foremost, CX delivery or customer being core to the organization is a culture driven from the top. It's very important and clear that this can only happen if it is driven from the top. Leadership has to define CX, and the entire organization has to follow CX. If product is not CX or customer centric, they will define and create a product as per them, not as per the customer's need.
Yeah.
So you cannot go to another department. If I'm selling something, sales, if I don't care of CX, which mostly gets ignored during that time because my target is something different, not that they are ignorant, because they are targeting for something else. If I am, if you look at it, even the sales guy would always build his pitch around customers' need, what customers require.
Yeah.
It is important to tie all these together. And that's the CX organization. CX has to ask sales of all the people what my customers are looking for. That's the first, which most people don't do.
Yeah.
CX has to ask marketing or convey to marketing what is it that you should be publicizing. You may have a brand identity, but what my customers are looking for.
Sure.
That so if a company from the top wants to listen to customers, your sales, your marketing, both will pitch the same thing. And third important wheel in the whole in the ride would be your CX department by itself. And then fourth one is the support system, rest of the support system. So CX team is the custodian. They have to just ensure that this information is relayed across. That's the most important role of CX team, which they have to play. Most of the times, CX teams or CX leaders take up a role of only solving the problems that are coming from the customer, which is where we drop the ball.
Yeah.
We are not just there to support the problems, we have to be there in the generation of problems.
Absolutely.
Or we should be aware what problem is getting generated. If I know I'm onboarding a customer from a new native place, I know I'm onboarding Japanese customers, and I'm building it so much that 5% of my customer base would be from Japan. I need to have my communication aligned to that market. I need to have my communication aligned to that language, which is what a lot of leaders globally miss at times.
True that. Absolutely. There are plenty of questions that's flown in, Dinesh. So I think we will park some time after this last question,
Sure.
considering already past the time. So, what do you foresee in the space of CX? What are the emerging things that you foresee in the next 5 years that could happen in CX? And parallelly, in terms of good things, integration with technology, integration with Gen AI, parallelly, what do you also foresee as bottlenecks that could happen in the next 5 years?
Wonderful. Very, very interesting and forward looking question. I may give my side of thoughts. I'm sure there would be many emerging. So, over the next 5 years, one, technology has been playing a very important role in operationalizing any business over the last 2 decades. And this will get immense and more intense. Why? Today, all leaders, thankfully, all leaders talk about experience.
Mm.
And when they talk about experience in the same breath, they talk about technology. They say, please build experience using technology,
Yes.
which is something very nice that has happened to the business side of the world. Today, and this has happened because a lot of tech companies are giants, and we all leaders look up to them
mm,
in and they are profitable companies. That's another reason. So people know a technology company is a profitable company, so which means this is a profitable business which is giving meaningful results, meaningful inputs to any business or supporting any business. Over next 5 years, one, generative AI, Gen AI, will change the way businesses are being done. I have architects who draw and create drawings for me. Over next 5 years, it may so happen
mm.
AI will give me layouts and designs.
Absolutely.
I don't need architects to do that. I may require them to do rest of the smaller, tinier, micro things. Macro work will be
Yeah.
done by generative AI or technology and all across. Doctors, again, it may so happen uh, there may be robots doing the macro work, and the micro is where we will need human intervention. And so is in the case of CX. We will see large communication. I know these are the milestones. I need to communicate to customer around these milestones. That will be done by technology. That is already being done by technology, and that will evolve over period even more. Uh, but there will be still some personalization and hyper personalization that we are going towards, which will be done by humans.
Mm.
So, broadly, if you ask me, we will evolve and use and utilize technology all the more to do macro. And in many forums, because I talk more of AI together with CX, I am questioned. So, do you see all call centers going away and only robots taking calls? That happened back in 2008. We got
Yeah.
a conversational IVR back then. We had an IVR tree back then. So I had 20,000, 2 million calls coming into my contact center back then. It has changed.
Yes.
And we had IVRs coming in, it came down. That was back in 2010, 15 years from now.
Yeah.
Now it has gone to next level where it is only about 10,000 because there is product simplification, because there is a lot of simplification in communication, because people have adopted technology. All the users today have smartphones. Everyone, while there is still a population which is not, we should, even if 80% is using smartphones, they will get all the information. They know, they are text and tech savvy today.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, and that will change the world.
Yeah, I think everyone is looking forward to this changes that's going to happen in the CX industry, and I think that what you said is really interesting, and we hope those experience comes along the way where people look at CX as a complementary solution, to enhance the customer experience than looking at otherwise. Parallelly, there could be bottlenecks. Parallelly, there could be challenges, but I think that's how the whole world has evolved, and that's how the whole business has evolved. And I foresee that the CX also will involve.
Of
Well,
course.
moving on to the questions, Dinesh. The first question is from Hem Malkani from TCS. So the question here is difference between expectations of telecom and real estate customers. I think we briefly covered it in the previous question, but if you want to give any nuggets or small insights, you can do so to him.
Hello, Aim. Thank you for this question. There is, if I'm buying real estate, I'm the same customer, I'm using telecom, but my expectation from real estate is very different from my expectation from a telecom service provider. Telecom service provider I use day in and day out. All I need is uptime of that service. Yeah. And that's what most customers would look at. There would be some who are who are who would call you for deduction of money, so on and so forth, but largely 80% of customers are looking for uptime of service. If that is delivered, customers are happy. In real estate, it's the same thing again. There it is service, here it is product. Customer is very happy if you keep updating him on time. If there is any milestone coming for payment, if there is any other milestone, any update on the property, any delay happening, you're delivering on time. Largely, if the product that you have delivered is very nice, is up to the quality standards, customers are very, very happy. If I don't have a roof leaking, if I
Yeah,
don't have, corners broken, if I don't have seepage, I'm very
yeah,
happy customer. So that's the difference. But it's communication is the key in both sides. Customers are
absolutely.
looking for regular communication.
Absolutely. Thank you, Dinesh. The next question is from Mohammad Ibrahim from Qatar Airways. Now, Mohammad's question is how to balance between meeting your customers' needs and making them happy, and at the same time, meeting the business requirements and the goals, like very thin line, fine balance. Keep the other well.
Thank you for this question. Thank you for
Yeah,
this question. That's like summing up, and you want the entire CX to be done in just one frame of sentence. But yes, I'll try and attempt to answer that. Uh, See, the balance in customer needs and making them happy always depends on the expectation setting. When I tell the customer, you should expect on time arrival, and I'll take it on aviation perspective. When I tell the customer, this is what you should expect. Or if as a brand, I am promoting, this is what you should expect. Customer knows this is what I will get. And if
yeah,
you are not able to deliver to that expectation as a brand, there is a difference between what I expected or what you have built yourself as a brand versus what you're delivering. So, my happiness is when you create an expectation and over deliver, I am happy.
yeah,
And my meeting the expectation or customer's need is this is, I expect bare minimum. I'm traveling Emirates, Qatar Airways. I know uh, I should have a luxury feeling when I am going through this journey versus any other airlines.
absolutely.
That's the difference, and that's the customer's need.
Cool. Thank you, Dinesh. We're looking at some amazing, interesting questions. I think this next question from Sri Parna Roy from Floydy Infotech. This is going to be close to your heart. What would be your mantra to convince customers to upgrade to AI technology without being skeptical on data privacy? Again, a fine
Wow.
balance between AI and data privacy.
Yes. So, Shuparna, thank you for this question. While this is well taken by cybersecurity today, and I would say every time AI technology is deployed for an enterprise, it is always secured. Even today, it is all on cloud, but cloud gives you complete security. Whether it is on, I would not name all the OEMs, but whichever cloud you're going on or wherever you're deploying, your data is always safe because it's a secure instance created for the enterprise.
Yes.
Uh, it's just a myth that my customer data is not secure or it can be hacked. It can be hacked without deploying AI technology equally.
Yeah.
And I will not go too much into the technical specifications, but yes, this is completely taken care by cybersecurity surroundings and infrastructure that we build.
Awesome. Cool. I think we covered this question, but if you have a different perspective, this is a question from Sami Mazen from Arasco, Dinesh. Customer needs and behaviors different across industries. Now, how did you find it when you moved as a CX leader among different industries?
Yeah, that's one question I love, Sami. Thank you for asking this. Of course, needs. You actually answered your question in the first sentence itself. It's customers' needs and behavior. Behavior is connected to needs. Like I just gave that example, I think, in the Q&A session itself. I am a telecom provider. I am giving you service. What is expected from me? 100% uptime. I am a hospital. What is expected from me? It's a complete journey. I am a real estate. What is expected from me? Give me a good quality house,
Mhm.
which should be snag free, and it should last. And that's a dream home. I am delivering you grocery. What if you place an order for food and I don't tell you till I don't inform you about any milestone till I ring your bell as a delivery boy? Your experience is not met. So I need to ensure very simply. I think we should simplify and for every industry what the customer needs. Customer needs information, regular update. That milestone or timeline might be different for different industries. For a food ordering app, it's 1 hour on the outer side. It could be 30 minutes, 15 minutes accordingly. On a real estate industry, it may be 3 to 4 years. On a telecom service, I may require information on a monthly basis or maybe after every call. What is the balance that got deducted? How long was the call? So it depends on the industry that you are in, but customers only expect regular update. There may be some outliers, we should keep them out, but broadly, largely, 80% of the customers would expect that. That should be a first set, and then you can go deeper and try and solve the rest of the problems.
Absolutely. Here's the next question from a budding customer experience and customer service professional. Maria Khalid is from Fine Hygienic Holding, asking for someone who is looking to grow as a customer experience and customer service professional, what are in demand certifications or skills one should focus on, considering AI is in the picture now?
So, wonderful question, Maria, and thank you for writing this. As a CX or a CS professional, there are a lot of certifications that you can do, knowing that AI is around the corner or being used more for everyone, whether you are in CX, CS, marketing, or sales, or wherever, or technology, core technology. Having an understanding of AI or doing certification courses around AI are the best. It depends you are in which geography on the globe. Uh, Importance is given to different certifications. For customer experience, there is CCXP, COPC. Again, like I said, it depends where are you working and you're at what location. However, AI having beginner's knowledge to intermediary knowledge is very, very important today. If you have that, you will surely succeed as and surely grow as a CX professional. I
Amazing.
hope I answered that question.
Yes. I think you pointed out CCXP, and there are also other certification. I think, Maria, you can check it out online. Now, next question is really close to my heart. I'm sure you will love this. This question is from Gunpreet Kaur, uh,
Okay.
hitting the nail, saying, why is customer service so underrated? Why people who are dealing with clients not understanding customer journeys?
Manuel, this is one question I get to deal with every time from the team more than anyone. Thank you, Gunpreet, for this challenging question on this platform. Uh, so, customer service is not underrated. That's the first confidence I take and I provide to my teams. It's how the leader drives it. There is importance of certain things in business. There would be certain businesses or services which are only customer oriented, and there would be certain products which are more product oriented or sales oriented, and so are the organizations. So customer service is never underrated. In today's world, customer service is a differentiator. If I have three companies to choose from, and I know this company A has best customer service or is known for customer satisfaction, I always go to customer or to company A despite being few times more than company B or C. But you're right. This responsibility is on the shoulders of CX leader or the leadership.
Absolutely. The next question is from Manuel De Souza, another Manuel from AP Moller. He's a CX leader himself. And here's a question from Manuel. How can we look at leveraging AI specifically for onboarding customers? Very interesting question.
Wow. Thank you, Manuel. I would have, if there was time for another hour, I would have given you. I did this back in 2018. And onboarding manual process was automated 100% by using AI, by leveraging AI. This was for a telecom provider that we did. And just taking the form online is not everything.
Yes.
I will tell you some of the critical elements. While taking a picture, there was a regulation that this picture should be of a live person. How do you ensure that?
Mm,
There should be no second face in the photograph. We
right.
used AI to cover all of this. It took us 6 months, but post that 6 months, and I was working with a small, it was just an attempt to deliver that I was doing with this startup. And within the moment this successfully got tested, we did so many iterations. They would come, sit in the cabin with me, keep iterating, now check. We tried taking a photo in front of the camera, it was still going through, said flopped. So many things we tried that can go as fraud to that. But we were able to do that all because of presence of AI, and we were able to leverage AI. And once this was done, the whole industry blindly adopted the same solution, which exists in India today. So it depends what are your problem statements. One, you need to know what are your problem statements for onboarding customers. If my problem statement is I need to go back and check customer validation real time, I need to do, I need to dip into like for UAE, it is I can integrate with UAE Pass, and I can get all the information about the customer. Yeah, back in India, I can go and dip into, there are multiple databases. There is PAN database, there is Aadhaar database, and there are other databases which are created, customized for different industries. I can always go dip into that and get a customer score. So all of that is possible if I know what's my problem statement. And AI is phenomenal, and that's how I say, we have done phenomenal work using AI, and power is immense, provided we use it in the restrictive manner and the right manner.
With customer service moving to digital, how to keep the human aspect in mind because technology has its own limitations.
Bang on. I think this was a question from Mayank. Good question,
Yeah.
Mayank. And I think this is, while I tried attempting and answering to this a little while ago, uh, customer service at broad will be taken care by digital. AI will even penetrate more from where it is today and take care of a lot of aspects of customer service. However, there will be a percentage of human aspect required. You will have 80% of your problems solved by automation. There will still be 20% where you need a human to do personalization, or there will be what we call exception handling, broadly done by human aspect. And human touch can never go out from there. So there is always an element of exception handling. This exception handling depends on industry to industry when it comes to a certain percentage. So in some industry it may be 5, in some it may be 10, it can go up to 20%. And there could be a lot more that I can talk about on this subject, since this is too close and this is what I've been doing in recent times and this is what I'm loving. So I can talk a lot more, but I'm sure there is a ticking clock that Manuel will raise up to me one day.
Yes, yes. I think we are well ahead of time, but thank you so much, Dinesh, for joining us. And I think this is immensely grateful podcast. And I'm sure as much as everyone else, our listeners listen to you and they would have learned so much from you. I also personally learned so much from you. And I'm sure as an ecosystem of CX leaders, as an ecosystem of CX budding leaders, we are so much to gain from this podcast, and having people like you coming and sharing your experience is immensely grateful. So thank you once again on behalf of ClueTrack and everyone else in our Cup of CX podcast. We give you a great thank you note, Dinesh. Thanks for joining. And for the listeners who are there, we will come back to you with the next edition of A Cup of CX next month. Until then, you guys have a great day, and looking forward to seeing you all in the next podcast. Thank you. Signing off, Manuel.